terrified man with glasses begs for a moment, a gun pointed directly at him. Endowu, with a cold expression, fires his weapon. Standing over the fallen target, Endowu makes a call, identifying himself and requesting cleanup. A team in hazmat suits, part of Happy Cleaning, moves in to handle the scene. Endowu Oharu, the best hitman from the Fujama group, is introduced with a stoic expression. His reputation as the Fujama group's killing machine stems from his emotionless operations and unwavering efficiency, with all other information about him kept secret. As the cleanup crew works, one member asks another if they are curious about Endowu's private life. The second crew member, wearing a distinct gas mask, firmly tells the first to stop, declaring themselves a fan of Endowu. The fan eagerly expresses their desire to know about their idol's private life. Endowu walks purposefully down a city street, away from the cleanup crew. The other crew member questions the fan's desire, suggesting it might destroy their image of him. The fan dismisses the concern, reiterating their unwavering admiration for Endowu. The fan confidently states that their image of Endowu could never be destroyed as Endowu heads towards a live bar. Endowu, with an intense expression and a Cayori headband, fervently shouts her name. He is seen from behind, deeply engrossed in the concert amidst a crowd of fans. Minaboshi Cayori sings passionately on stage. Cayori flashes a peace sign with a bright smile. Endowu, still wearing his headband, is shown in the audience, making a supportive gesture. A sign announces the Rasesi special event, scheduled from 1830 to 1900. Backstage, Cayori is praised for her great concert. Cayori beams, stating she can do her best because Endowu always supports her. Endowu internally admits that Cayori up close is overwhelmingly dazzling. Looking at Cayori, Endowu silently vows he would do anything for her. Morita curtly informs Endowu that his time is almost up. Cayori, with a knowing smile, asks if it is really time, then states that today will be the day. Cayori brightly offers her hands, asking Endowu to shake them. Endowu, with a pained expression, states he cannot do that. He elaborates that he cannot soil her with his dirty hands. Morita firmly tells Endowu his time is up, while Cayori interjects, suggesting he wash his hands first if that's the issue. Endowu thinks to himself that he doesn't mind not being able to shake Cayorin's hands. He reflects that she gave purpose to his life, and that is sufficient for him. He feels that Cayorin shined light into his dark, empty existence. Walking away alone down the street, Endowu muses that every day has become emotional. Endowu is shown as a hitman, shooting a target at point-blank range. Juxtaposed is Endowu as a fan, eyes closed in blissful support, thinking Imoy. Another scene shows him subduing an opponent with a swift strike. The cleanup crew is seen packaging bodies, with Endowu standing nearby. A close-up on Endowu's face reveals his somber contemplation. He questions his worthiness, thinking of Cayorin and asking if he can be one of her fans. The supposedly dead victim gasps, begging to be saved. Endowu is visibly shocked, questioning if the man is still alive. One of the cleanup crew members, confused by Endowu's outburst, asserts that the victim is definitely dead. Endowu is struck by the memory of a birthday cake, realizing the victim had a family whose life he ended. A vision of Cayorin appears before Endowu, her expression somber as she calls him a murderer. Cayorin, with a concerned expression, asks Endowu if he is okay. Endowu, looking downcast, tells Cayorin he will not be coming anymore. He apologizes and says that she is not someone he should get close to. Cayorin reacts with shock and disbelief, insisting that what he said is not true. The wet towelette offered by Cayori is shown, labeled wet OTFUKI hand. Cayorin smiles gently, telling Endowu that all he needs to do is clean his hands. Endowu looks at Cayorin, his eyes wide with surprise and emotion. Morita steps in, declaring that Endowu's time is up. Endowu abruptly elbows Morita in the gut, shocking Morita. An establishing shot shows Fujama Tower somewhere in Tokyo. Fujama Hideoshi, seated comfortably, asks Endowu if he wants to quit being a hitman. Endowu, standing before him with two masked guards, confirms that is correct. Fujama Hideoshi, the first president of the Fujama Group, is formally introduced. Fujiyama remarks on Endowu's past nature as someone who kills without second thought, like a machine. He directly asks Endowu what caused this change in him. Fujiyama speculates if a woman is the cause, while Endo states that it is an idol. Fujiyama listens with a stern, unimpressed expression. Fujiyama, leaning forward and extinguishing his cigarette, warns Endo not to joke with him. He menacingly tells Endo to say it again. Endo calmly replies that it is Cayori. Endo elaborates that it is Rasei's Minaboshi Cayori, his fave. Endo looks directly at Fujiyama, stating that his purpose is to support Cayori. Fujiyama reacts with surprise, as Endo declares this new purpose is his new life. Endo admits that even after quitting, as a murderer, he has no right to support her. He continues that even so, he, the killing machine, intends to support her. Fujiyama reflects that the emotionless monster. Endo remains silent, his expression unreadable. Has become quite human. Fujiyama then declares Endo fired, stating he has no use for him. Fujiyama waves Endo away, telling him to get lost. With a smirk, Fujiyama asks if Endo supports that Cayori. Endo bows deeply, his hand resting on the armrest of his chair. The scene shifts to an impressive traditional Japanese house, where the Prime Minister asks about a first solo concert. Cayori beams, confirming that yes, they got one. She explains to her father and Morita that although the venue is small, they can rent the entire place. Her father, Prime Minister Minabishi, acknowledges that it is great news. He then turns to Morita, stating he is leaving Cayori in his care, to which Morita agrees. Morita assures Prime Minister Minabishi that he can leave it to him. Cayori looks displeased with the arrangement. She approaches her father, asking what is going on. Cayori requests that her father stop assigning Morita to guard her, explaining that fans find him scary and that he resembles a hitman, much to Morita's surprise. Her father tells Cayori that being an idol involves risks. He states that while he respects her chosen path, if she cannot understand her position, he will have her quit. Endo, working as a cashier, checks his phone and learns Rasei's first solo concert is confirmed, with new songs and costumes. He exclaims it is amazing, noting he has not been to events since then, but Cayori is persevering. The official Rasei announcement confirms the first solo concert on Saturday, March 26th. His coworker asks when payday is, and Endo, after confirming the date, internally vows to only use clean money to support her, puzzling his coworker. A car pulls away from the drive-thru as his manager asks if Endo served the customer. The coworker bows deeply, apologizing to the unseen customer for Endo's lapse. Inside the car, Fujiyama and his associates remark on the inconvenience, seemingly amused. Endo tells his flustered coworker to handle the products carefully as they are hot. The coworker thanks Endo. As the car drives off, the manager tells Endo that those who slack off do not deserve to be paid, and Endo apologizes. It is March 26th, and fans are lined up outside the Deep Blue Live House for Rasei's concert. It is finally showtime. Backstage, the group's manager informs Rasei that tickets, including on-day sales, are completely sold out, and he can feel their popularity rising. Yui Sakura, Rasei Pink, is introduced. Shida Ritsuki, Rasei Blue, is introduced. Yamamoto Kum, Rasei Red, is introduced. Minaboshi Cayori, Rasei Yellow, is introduced. Their manager rallies the group, urging them to make the live show a success and aim for the top. Cayori confesses to her bandmates that she is starting to feel nervous for the first time in ages. Her bandmates react, one telling her she should be more nervous, while another says it is not like her to be nervous and wishes her a safe trip as Cayori says she is going to the toilet. As she heads off, Cayori insists she is not bad with directions and tells them not to worry about her getting lost. Morita greets Cayori, complimenting her work. Cayori bluntly asks Morita if he is going to follow her to the toilet too. A flustered Morita denies this and awkwardly wishes her a safe trip. While washing her hands, Cayori tells Morita, who is presumably outside, that if he is protecting her, he should protect the other girls too. She adds that it is not as if there are any dangerous individuals among her fans. Lost in thought, Cayori wonders how Endo is doing. Suddenly, her reflection in the mirror shows a group of menacing men standing behind her, causing her to stare in shock. Endo arrives at the venue, his expression determined. He thinks about how he can finally meet Cayori after a long time. An attendant holding an entrance sign directs attendees. A A car suddenly swerves dangerously towards the attendant, who screams in terror. Morita urgently shouts for people to make way. Endowu, annoyed by the commotion, mutters, "Damn it," as Morita pants from exertion. Morita stands by his car, aghast, realizing that Cayori-san has been kidnapped in a terrible blunder. He frets about not wanting this to become an incident for Cayori's sake, but feels he must contact the Prime Minister. Endowu appears, telling Morita this is why he could not separate him and Cayori during the handshake event. Morita recognizes Endowu, who stands ominously before him. Getting into a car, Endowu makes a call, identifying himself and stating he has a favor only the person on the other end can do. He needs them to find someone. In a warehouse by the docks, Cayori demands her captors identify themselves and release her, saying everyone is waiting. One of the captors points a gun at the blindfolded Cayori, telling her to shut up. Cayori defiantly asks if her fans are considered too dangerous. She berates them for wanting her all to themselves, questioning their shame as fans, while their leader's phone rings. The leader, Popov-san, answers his phone, asking if it is Popov-san he is speaking to. Fujiyama on the phone tells Popov-san they are messing with the wrong person, as expected of the renowned Fujiyama group. Popov-san smirks, confirming they already know they kidnapped the Prime Minister's daughter. One of Popov-san's men explains that Mr. Minabishi used to borrow help from their boss, but cut ties once he gained power. The man adds that while they feel bad for the girl, they ask Fujiyama to back off if he does not understand the situation, to which Cayori reacts with a confused "huh." Fujiyama calmly tells Popov-san that he is the one who does not understand the situation, to Popov-san's surprise. Fujiyama's polished shoe steps out of a car at the warehouse. Fujiyama confirms to Popov-san that it is true the girl named Minaboshi Cayori is the daughter of Prime Minister Minabishi and an idol. He adds that, more importantly, there is one more thing Popov-san absolutely needs to know. He addresses Popov-san, stating that the girl he kidnapped. Endowu Oru, wearing his Kyorin headband, stands ready as Fujiyama reveals that Kyorin is Endowu Oru's fave. Popov-san reacts with shock and dawning horror, uttering Endowu Oru's name. Two of Popov-san's men turn to face the approaching Endowu, one drawing a knife. Endowu swiftly takes down one of the armed kidnappers, sending him flying over a car, while Popov-san watches in terror beside Cayori. The warehouse floor is quickly littered with Endowu's incapacitated opponents. Popov-san stares, wide-eyed with fear. Endowu, his expression fierce, focuses on his objective. Endowu engages the remaining kidnappers in a flurry of action. He swiftly picks up Cayori, who is still blindfolded and bound, and asks what is happening. Endowu reassures her that it is okay and he is here to save her, to which she responds with a confused "huh." He internally comments on how cute her new costume is, while telling her they are running away. Morita arrives, exclaiming Cayori's name in relief and asking if Endowu is Morita-san. Morita apologizes to Endowu, saying it is his responsibility as her guard, but Endowu admits he also lacked awareness. Endowu tells Morita that their pursuers are coming and urges both of them to hurry to the venue, asking if Morita will stay behind. Morita, acknowledging they will not give up easily, agrees to hurry. Cayori, still blindfolded in the car, asks her rescuer to wait and identify himself. She reaches for her blindfold, exclaiming "don't," as Endowu tries to stop her. Endowu holds Cayori's hand, preventing her from removing the blindfold, stating he does not want her to see his face. He reiterates that he does not want her to know who he is. Endowu looks down, pleading with her. Cayori, still blindfolded, smiles and says okay, thanking her rescuer for saving her. She earnestly asks him to make sure to come and watch the concert. Endowu watches her leave, his face shadowed and his expression unreadable. Endowu stands alone as the car with Cayori departs. One of Popov's men spots Endowu, shouting, "There they are." Popov, surrounded by his armed men, orders them to corner Endowu, stating they can go after the girl later. Cayori arrives backstage, apologizing to her bandmates and manager for getting lost. On stage, Rasesi apologizes to the crowd for keeping them waiting. Popov's men, armed, advance cautiously, one reminding the others not to let their guard down. Endowu, now in the midst of the cheering crowd in his mind, says, "Well then." He grips his two glow sticks, preparing for the confrontation. Cayori, beaming on stage, shouts, "Here we go." Simultaneously, Endowu leaps into the air, glow stick raised, attacking Popov's men. Endowu, with arms outstretched and glow sticks in hand, strikes two opponents simultaneously. Rasesi performs their choreography with enthusiasm. Endowu continues his fight, taking down another thug. Endowu gracefully dodges an attack from a gas-masked opponent. He delivers a powerful spinning strike with his glow stick. The Rasesi members sing and dance, captivating their audience. More of Popov's men are sent flying by Endowu's relentless assault. A battered Popov takes aim with his pistol, groaning in effort. Cayori is shown mid-performance, jumping joyfully with her arms outstretched. Endowu, with a fierce shout, continues to fight, delivering powerful blows. Endowu delivers a final, powerful blow to Popov, using his glow sticks to strike him down. The defeated thugs lie on the ground, groaning in pain. Police cars arrive at the scene. Multiple police cars surround the warehouse by the docks as the sun rises. The concert concludes with a thank you to everyone for attending. Rasesi announces their final song, a much-anticipated new track. The group pledges to continue giving their best and asks for ongoing support from their fans. Cayori smiles, winks, and gives a peace sign to the audience. The audience cheers wildly for Rasesi. Endowu, back in the crowd with a bandage on his cheek and a wide smile, enthusiastically cheers "Here We Go" with his glow sticks. He listens to classical music, specifically J.S. Bach's cello Suite No. 1, as he works. Endowu Ooru meticulously prepares his attire, ironing his suit. He carefully attends to every detail of his outfit. Endowu then prepares his equipment for the upcoming event, laying out numerous cylindrical items. He meticulously assembles what appear to be light sticks, carefully inserting batteries. With his gear ready, he looks on with determination. Dressed sharply in his suit, Endowu announces he is heading out to support Cayori. Meanwhile, Cayori enthusiastically presents a Rasesi fan t-shirt featuring the group members and asks Endowu to wear it sometime. At what appears to be a merchandise stand, Cayori suggests Endowu wear the fan t-shirt, noting he is always in a suit. Endowu internally considers that since he has quit being a hitman, he might not need his suit anymore. Cayori then proudly reveals she designed the t-shirt this time, much to Endowu's surprise. When a man dons the Rasesi t-shirt and asks for Yamamoto-kun's opinion, she bluntly calls it lame. Endowu internally worries that wearing such a shirt would make people think something is wrong with him. Yui Sakura finds it cute, while Shida Ritsuki thinks it might appeal to children. Cayori, however, insists Endowu would look cute in it too. Endowu is taken aback by the suggestion that he could look cute. Morita echoes this surprise. Cayori considers that the design might indeed be too cute and thus difficult for men to wear. Despite this, Endowu firmly decides he can wear the t-shirt. Alone, Endowu contemplates the t-shirt, reflecting on the myriad emotions he has experienced since encountering Cayori. He wonders if this new feeling is shame. He resolves that for Cayori's sake, he can conquer even this. However, he identifies a problem, and taking a knife, he begins to cut into his own suit. Endowu reflects on the advanced capabilities of his suit, describing it as a masterpiece of technology that protects him. It boasts heat resistance based on space engineering. It also has resistance to all chemicals and high water repellency. Furthermore, it offers top-grade bulletproofing capable of stopping even .50 I and 12.7 armor-piercing rounds. The shirt worn with the suit has impact-reactive hardening liquid armor for vital areas. The Rasesi t-shirt lies before Endowu. He sits dejectedly, the advanced suit on its mannequin nearby. He recalls Cayori's hesitant comment that the design might be difficult for men to wear, a thought that clearly weighs on him. Steeling himself, Endowu emerges wearing the Rasesi t-shirt, declaring it is no big deal. As he walks down a hallway, a child with a water gun peeks out from a doorway. A subtle twitch appears near Endowu's eye, sensing the child. The child playfully shoots the water gun, and Endowu, with his ingrained reflexes, dramatically leaps over the hallway railing. The child looks on in surprise as Endowu avoids the water. Endowu lands and sternly reminds the terrified child that he had told him not to play in the hallway. An unseen person wonders about the commotion. Endowu lies on the ground, seemingly dazed from the encounter with the child. He concludes that wearing the t-shirt is indeed too dangerous after all. Later in the pouring rain, the live house moon fall is shown. Endo, now back in his suit and holding the folded t-shirt, encounters Yashida, who is proudly wearing the Rasesi t-shirt. Yashida questions Endo's choice of attire. Endo explains that for him, wearing such a t-shirt feels akin to throwing his life away, calling it a tough choice. Yashida empathizes, sharing that he too was once unafraid of death, but supporting Cayori changed his perspective. Endo elaborates that he cannot simply throw his life away. Yashida states that he understands, as he used to be the same way. He reveals a green light stick from his bag. Endo questions the color. Yashida explains it is not a Rasesi color, as he previously supported a different idol. Yashida reminisces about his student days, explaining he was a closet otaku and checking concert locations. He would decline invitations from friends, making excuses like having reports to work on, so he could attend his favorite idol's events. He believed that if he were exposed as an otaku, it would mean social death. Eventually, he lacked the courage to continually refuse his friends' invitations. His friends were surprised to see him, even commenting they thought he hated them. Yashida continues his story, revealing that the day he chose to hang out with his friends was the very day his idol retired, a fact he saw on social media. Standing drenched in the rain and overcome with emotion, he made a decision at that moment. Endo listens intently to Yashida's story. In the present, still in the rain, Yashida dons a Yamamoto-kun headband, passionately declaring he will have no more regrets. Endo observes this display. Immediately after his declaration, he winces, exclaiming in pain, presumably from the headband. Yashida reflects that he was mistaken before. The opportunity to support Cayori and idols in general is not limitless. He questions why Endo would hesitate, noting Endo holds a light stick, while a staff member looks on. Yashida shouts Cayori's name, affirming his own intention to live without regrets. Inspired by Yashida's words, Endo suddenly leaps into the cheering crowd towards the stage. He exclaims in surprise at his own actions. He marvels at how light his body feels. It is as though a heavy burden has been lifted from him. Endo has a revelation. Perhaps his advanced suit was not protecting him, but rather weighing him down. On stage, Cayori notices something in the crowd. She happily wonders if they are new fans, expressing her joy at seeing so much of her color in the back row. Endo, now fully embracing his fan spirit in the Rasesi t-shirt, leads an intense, synchronized cheer for Cayori, creating a powerful wave of support that astounds a nearby staff member. The overwhelmed staff member alerts Morita to what he perceives as a psycho fan, urging him to intervene. Morita is stunned to see it is Endo. The staffer complains about the intense wind pressure from Endo's cheering, fearing it will escalate to a pink ticket situation, meaning disruptive fan behavior. Morita attempts to stop Endo, telling him he is causing a disturbance. Endo's enthusiastic cheering is so intense that his Rasesi t-shirt rips apart, revealing his muscular physique. Oblivious, he simply asks, "Huh?" As the concert announces its final song, he turns to Morita and the staffer, asking if something is wrong. After the concert, Endo is at the merchandise table, where Cayori asks if he is buying another t-shirt. Endo confirms his purchase. Cayori thanks him. Endo apologizes to Cayori, explaining he will use this t-shirt for display only and resigns himself to wearing his suit. Cayori then remarks that despite appearances, she has a good eye for suits due to her family background. Cayori observes that Endo takes excellent care of his suit. Endo demurs, perhaps recalling his earlier hesitation about the t-shirt, and mentions he said something rude the other day. Cayori elaborates that seeing him cherish his attire and dress up for her performances makes her genuinely happy. Endo is touched by her words. She adds with a smile that when he wears that distinctive suit, she can always spot him in the crowd. As Endo leaves, carrying the newly purchased t-shirt, Yashida notices he is still in his suit and asks if he decided against wearing the fan shirt after all. Yashida observes that Endo seems to have resolved his internal conflict. Endo confirms this. Walking away confidently in his suit, Endo declares that